Word. Alright, try this thing, see if it works. See if I get in trouble. Well, we used to do this back in the day. I was playing Among Us on mobile. Now I've got it on my Chromebook, and it was not optimal. I'm gonna try another practice run because I don't have like a mouse. So I'm still trying to figure out how to like work the joystick, or there's also the touch option, but neither of them really work because I have like a finger pad on my Chromebook, but my wireless mouse broke a while ago. There's no way to control with the keyboard, so I think that kind of sucks. And of course, it's take forever to load to see whether or not character moves efficiently. This. I'm just chilling this morning. If anybody wants to come chill, come chill. Link in description, of course. Dead bodies found. Uh-oh. No dead bodies here. Play at a club called Chris's Club in Vallejo. Sometimes we can hear going on the bridge. It sounds like a truck pulling up. No one was ejected. Woohoo! Is this it? Maybe that's it. Thinking about doing a philosophy vid, but my work schedule got changed, so I am off tonight, Friday night. And so I'll be able to do something at a more reasonable hour later on. A day shift on Saturday now, so that's where I'm at. Med Bay. It's weird, it won't let you actually the object you're trying to get to. You have to put the space or something. Yeah, I don't think this would be fast enough for me to do a live round. I ended up getting murked pretty quick. I don't know, I might try one. Nicotine withdrawal. Well, I have some snus pouches, but ran out of cigarettes earlier. Luckily, my mom wired me some money, but I cannot go and spend it right now. I'm trapped. James. 1 second. I'm not sure who you are, so save here.
You could do the rump shaker, huh? The thug shaker. Give me the thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off it and shake that shit.
Jokers. Jokers. Nice try. Been doing this for a little while now, so. All right, we're gonna go to electrical. Seems like they only do that when the link's in the description now for some reason. Like if I put it in side chat, I don't get the weirdos. But if I put the link in the description, people want to come in here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so this way I believe. Should know this. Pretty slow for the last little bit. It stays that way. They're all trying to finish up early because got like a half day tomorrow. Great for me. Character stuff. Yeah, it's not optimal. Wouldn't let me download this on mobile though, because I don't have enough. I just need to get a new phone. It's ridiculous. Nice chat with P-Town earlier. Probably check some of that out in the chat I had with Bubblegum Gun, which is part of my inspiration for philosophy chat I want to do here soon. I'm not going to do it now, I think. Yeah, I got to do something. It's been a while since we've done a stupid monkey philosophy video. Oh, keep walking past me, dummy. Oh, come on. Give me. Frustrating, see? Can't have that shit in live gameplay. Joystick's not much better. Try switching to joystick. Okay. Hey, how's it? Adjust the sensitivity on this thing. Lags out for a second, and then it starts going. Yeah, I think the other way is better. Neither is optimal. Hey, Richard, good to see you. Peace and respect, my friend. Yeah, there's a link to join the English chat in the description box. After, if I can manage to complete my tasks, I'm just going to do this and then I'll open up a video and check something out here. But just chilling. I got a couple more hours to blow here. Or Woody, hello. If I can figure this out, I'd be able to do like a legit gaming stream on Twitch. So I guess I'm going to start trying to pray to Jesus, like Aitam recommended, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it will work out a little differently than before, you know. I was praying to God. I guess I was doing it the wrong way around. According to P-Town, I got to pray to Jesus and try to have faith in Jesus, and Jesus will lead me to God. It's my understanding from our discussion. I don't know. I thought it was kind of like one and the same, like it's interchangeable, but because Jesus is God, God is Jesus. But I mean, at least if you believe in all that. I actually went in there to correct him on his statement about people coming from monkeys, but that's kind of a tired argument. They all have the same misnomers about evolution. Or want to? Hey, what's up, William? Good to see you. And the atheists have explained it to him time and time again. They just choose not to listen. But I guess they say the same thing about us, right? But I did like that he said, it's okay. I can keep my evolution and still believe on Jesus. So still be an evolutionist and be a Christian, I suppose. Yeah, not as quick as I would have liked, but maybe we'll come back to that. Ooh, I hit the wrong thing. Yeah, we're switch this out. Presented. It was all y'all who missed it. This is a little bit of what my chat with P-Town. He wanted to try to convert me on stream. He's eager for it, but I don't think we're there. Not quite there.
No, why not?
Because it's ludicrous.
It's not ludicrous. This is a question about your honesty.
Yeah. If I found, of course I would. But I'm just saying it's ludicrous to
No,
entertain
because
that.
there are many Christians who will answer this, who will avoid answering this question because they don't want
I
to be
just said,
honest.
yeah, if
Yeah,
God,
but in the beginning you were sounding a bit iffy about it. And the
I
reason
wasn't
I
iffy
ha-
about it. I'm just
Oh,
saying
this was
it's
not his first
ludicrous to
meeting.
entertain it. But yes, if that turned out to be the true religion, then yeah, I'd be a
yeah, because
Muslim.
And I thought I hit the pause button. So I said he's bad cred for saving people. Oh, you mean from God? Like, right, yeah. I thought you meant like he has he ever successfully converted anyone in the past? I don't know. I've like I've heard about P Town. Well, obviously I've been talking to him off and on for a while, but I've heard other people claim that they've kind of caught him flip flopping or his whole "I used to be an atheist" thing. People said no, he was never a real atheist. For Jesus. Um, I don't know. I don't want to make that claim. I don't want to make claims that can't say that I know what people used to believe or something. I just know what he says now. So bit naive, I'd say.
because I have asked other Christians this question, and they refuse to answer it because to them it's not about who truly is God. It's that they would rather have Jesus or no God at all. So in their hearts, they are no different than an atheist. Deep down, they hate God. The true ultimate capital G God. Because if God isn't, insert whoever you want to insert, insert X person or X God, if that isn't God, they would rather have nobody at all as God. So deep down, they
But
hate.
but like that you can take the Hebrew here, and these aren't literal days; they're just periods of time, and the evening and morning could mean something different. You could rewrite long periods of time and evolution into the text. Fine, I would be a theistic evolutionist. It wouldn't be a big deal. It's still a mute point compared to the salvation of Christ, which is the primary message in Scripture.
But see, I
But
don't
to
think
me, the easy reading of the text here is simple. It's so
you,
simple.
you ever heard the phrase God is not a author of
Confusion.
confusion? Yeah.
Yeah, I just take a very simple, literal approach to Scripture for the most part. Obviously, there's
But is
figures
this
to
not
be.
it? But is this not confusion?
No, this is simple. Evening and why does he repeat himself over again? Evening and morning were the third day. Each day, evening and morning. Day is light, darkness is night. How simple could you get? He made a light.
The next rational question is, what should a person expect from prayer? Right. Yeah. I mean, so that was kind of my question. We're looking at, just improving the overall quality of my life, which apparently is not self-serving because if I were to do this, I mean, in theory, and then I become, like, I don't know what you'd call it. Like, if I get the faith, right? I get the faith part by believing in Jesus. Once I believe in Jesus, I gain the faith. Then it will serve me by serving him because I guess he will bless me. I mean, right? Like that's what logically follows. But I guess the prayer in of itself is supposed to be the foundation. I'm supposed to start um, building my relationship with Jesus, even though Town himself said he's not going to answer me. He's not going to answer me. But somehow this is going to instill faith in me, I guess. I thought we were closer to it. He's going to kick Bubblegum here in a second and repeatedly throughout this. But then Bubblegum and I have a little bit of an exchange later, which is there's something I want to look into. But so.
for the day and a light for the night, sun and the moon,
Yeah, but
made the sun and the stars. Like, this is not
when did
like,
when did he make the sun? Which day he make the sun?
he made it later on. He made it, yeah,
But how can you have day before there's a sun?
because he made the light.
See?
It's simple. You just take
But
it as a simple reading of the text.
No, you had to come up with this rescue dice because there's clearly a
No
contradiction
rescue
there.
device. Simple. There's no contradiction.
Well, where's
God
the light?
can
Where's the
without
light? Where's the light coming from?
God.
So God is out there in space providing the light until He makes the sun.
He's God.
But see, you're anthropomorphizing God. You're making Him into an object.
You're making up fancy words. I'm not putting him in. I'm not saying he. The only reason why I would refer to him as the light is because that's in John 1:1.
See, because like if
But I'm not talking to a Christian, so now we're. But anyway,
because from my God,
yeah, me
'cause
too. I have a perfect driving
Yeah.
record with this one guy.
yeah, because I'm
Let me
starting.
say hi to 8 real quick,
Sure.
Bubble, because you're exhausting. Trusty, I want you to be a Christian too.
Well, I want you to become like me.
Are you ready to be a Christian right now, Trusty? Because we can do it together.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to convert right now,
Just
but
do it right now.
I'm willing.
Do
It's
it.
really not hard. You just got to believe in.
That's a good point, Richard. No one needs faith. I think Bubblegum should bring that up later. Yeah, you like him? It's like, and that's what I said. I wanted to believe as many true things as possible, right? I want to have the most truth on my side. Just don't know what to say. Well, I had to, I'm being agreeable. Pete John's a real nice guy, It's hard to argue with him. I came in to correct him on evolution. I guess we back it up to that. But it's just the same old argument, so we don't really have to do that. I didn't end up saying anything about it because I was waiting until they had this engagement. I was going to jump in, but he caught me off guard with that one. So, yeah, let's wait, check this out. Good luck with truth. You don't think we can find the truth? The ultimate truth?
Believe in Jesus and
Join Islam.
give him your life and your heart. I know that you want to, though. I'm starting to see changes in you. We met a year ago. There's a portion of you that wants to.
You want to join me?
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to believe as many true things as possible, and I would like to, live the best life that I can. But I'm still troubled by the fact that I subscribe to evolutionary theory, and so I'm troubled by the fact that it seems we can't reconcile that. Just kind of want to jump in, but
I mean,
Yeah, Richard. I'd be happy to you walk me through your prayer theory. I know P-Town walked me through his, I think. And yeah, I see that as a possibility. We'll try the experiment, and it will not change a thing, right? Because I have to have, and he says as much. Like I have to have this longing in my heart to desire to be with him or something of that nature, and I don't know if I do, but yeah, historically I've never. Usually I didn't. I would pray to God, the God of my understanding, or some vague notion of God that I had, but I never did try prayer directly to Jesus. It just wasn't a thing for me. And I think anytime if I was in like a circle like that and we were, blood of Jesus on him or whatever, they were, I was just like, yeah. By that point, I was like disinterested. Faith is hard to manage without a starting point of belief, and that does not typically happen just because a person decides to believe. Yeah, and I wonder if I would be, I don't want to say this outright, but if I was like, I don't want to be faking belief, right? Like I don't want to go in there and like fake it till you make it Christian. But yeah, If the biblical narrative is true, then I want to believe it. I want to believe the truth. I want to believe in lies. P-Town makes God prejudiced or maybe petty.
I mean, do you actually want the truth though? Because people say that they don't actually want the truth. They want their worldview to be true. It's very different from.
Yes, link to join in the description. It's in the description. I guess I think I still have it in my clipboard. I might be able to just put it down here. Where'd my box go? Put it in the box. Have it? Oh, looks like you found it anyway. Oh, hello, Tim.
Oh my god. Oh, hello. Let me mute. I'm dying.
You get a good ripper?
Yeah. Oh, here. The vape, so it's a little bit harsher than the actual weed.
Peace and respect,
Howdy,
everybody.
Richard. Peace and respect, my friend.
Hey, Richard.
I don't know, Kev. A lot of people said to me a lot of things about prayer, and it resulted in nothing. And the only thing I did experience was things that were already in my own mind anyway. And that's not exactly revelation. But then, 30 years passed, and I saw a description of prayer that was very, very different, actually reading the Bible, because I have a weird reading frame. Yes, it's very weird. Yes, it's very fringe, if we can just get past that. But it described to me a method of prayer that is informational and testable, and it's not subject to individual bias. And I used that, and I tested it against reality, the information that I received, and I found the things to be true in reality. And even when my intuitive normal self said, well, that's not going to work out, which is bad thinking, because if I knew what was going to work out, my life would have already been fixed in those same aspects. You see what I'm saying? So I tried stuff that I thought wouldn't work, and in that way tested it against reality, and it did work. So it was true in reality against my intuition outside of my experiential range, if that made sense. But I can walk you through how to do that, and it's not hard.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, it's real simple. Now, I'm going to use generalistic terms because everyone's brain is slightly different, so my challenge here is to use generalistic terms that'll work for you, that won't stilt your experience too far, and like I'm expecting you to be me, because you're not, right? But still be defined enough that you'll have a methodology. Okay, so it's kind of difficult to explain these things, but I'll do my very, very best for you. All right. So there are certain things that can get in the way of a person learning anything. Like if I go to school and I'm sitting there in class and I need to take a crap, I'm not going to learn much. If I'm hungry, if I'm tired, if someone walks up to me every 3 minutes and taps me on the shoulder, I'm not going to get anywhere. So it's been my experience that you have to eliminate all these possible distractions. Be in a safe place, a place that you're physically comfortable and emotionally comfortable. So the bus station is probably not the best place to go and pray at first, at least. And then after taking care of the physical, emotional things so that you can be settled, what a lot of people, not 100%, but a lot of people do, as soon as, and you could tell me you've probably already experienced this, as soon as you sit down and try to calm down and try to concentrate on nothing and just try to relax, what happens to me is my entire life and all of its little problems, right, start coming to mind, you know, kind of like a stream that's overfilled, and it's a little bit, it's disorganized, it's disturbing, it's not calm, it's not restful. You know what I'm talking about? Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah, that's like anytime I'm alone. That's part of the reason I, am streaming all night out here, so I'm not stuck in my thoughts.
Okay, so you experience that too. I think most people do. Okay, but this funny thing happens if you sit and you wait long enough, your brain will kind of go through the list of stuff that's bugging you, and it'll kind of run out of stuff. And if you ask, well, I've had the American meditative Buddhist tell me that, that you just wait for that and you will get to calm, right? And it's been my experience that is true. Okay. When I first started doing this, that took like 45 minutes. Now the things that are not perfect in my life are about 3 minutes worth of stuff. So it happens a lot faster now because a lot of my life got fixed, Anyway, so it's interesting that what happens to a lot of people, and I think you could do it on purpose if you wanted to, is once you reach that calm state, once all the the tumultuous water goes by, once that happens, you can allow one more thing to happen. You can allow that one more thing to come to your mind. And the interesting thing about that for me personally was that it was the most fundamental thing that was making my life bad, would be the last thing. And then I just asked the very simple question, just an open question to whatever God could be. And in that way, I disagree with P-Town that it matters which God you pray to or whatever like that. I don't think that matters, because I really believe there's only one God to pray to, and it don't care what you call it, because it knows that we're small, and it knows that we're petty, and it knows that we have misunderstandings, and it doesn't care what you call it. At least that's my theory. I could be completely wrong on that. Fine. But anyway, and just simply ask the question, allow the one thing, and then ask the question, like formulate a question in your mind as if making a request. What is the answer to this? And simple as that. And here's the really odd part. When I do that, even if I've spent, 30 years trying to figure something out, when I do that, something brand new pops up, something unexpected, something against my intuition. And my first thought is, well, that won't work. But then if I was right about what would work, then I'd have already resolved the problem. So I should try things that are against my intuition, obviously, for that reason. And then when I try them, if they don't work, well, then that was garbage. But if they do work, well, that's worth keeping. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The way you describe it though was like over a period of time, it's like developing a skill almost.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not everyone's experience, and I don't know, but I do know a little tiny bit about psychology, and I know that repeated efforts. Okay, I'll just straight out say it. That sounds like building confirmation bias to me. That just sounds like building confirmation bias. Oh, this is how you build confirmation bias. I'm sorry.
Sometimes
But
it's good to build walls.
Yeah,
Sets
okay.
boundaries and defenses.
I didn't say wall.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes biases are boundaries and walls that we set up for ourselves. And
No,
sometimes
by
it's a good thing
bias,
to
I
have
mean
those things.
by bias, I mean making myself true.
You're saying that obviously, like over a period of time, if I continue this practice and good things begin to happen, I can say, oh, maybe it's because I did this practice, but that's like a causation correlation fallacy, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? And I don't think that's a healthy thing for a person to do to themselves, because I think eventually it fails. It's not true in reality. It doesn't
Yeah.
really help them.
That's why. Yeah, that's what I meant by the boundaries, the walls.
Okay.
Just as much as walls keep things out, they keep you in.
So I've done that, and it's worked, and I've found informational things that I could not have guessed, and the majority of time, even though I thought it would be wrong, when I went out into the world or onto Google or whatever to find out if it was true, it was true. And then when applied to life, it actually made my life better. And I would desire that people's lives get easier, you know, just so they're happier and stuff. That's all.
Well, but there's a thing to that where, like, I often think, I'll like pull this random factoid out of my memory, and it seems like something like, well, how would I know that? Do I intuitively know that? But I feel like it's one of those. I must have learned it when I was younger. I just don't remember when or where.
That's fine. I mean, we do things like that. That's fine. But I don't know that if you were in that meditative state and comfortable enough and clear enough, that bringing out some random factoid to a problem you actually have there's a solution to the problem is any better or worse than any God telling it to you. And so as long as it fixes your life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, because it's like, being involved in recovery processes I have been and stuff. It's like a lot of that stuff is pulling back up old information that I learned when I was younger, and it's like, oh, in theory, if I keep with this practice, then I should have started to see signs of improvement. But that wasn't in fact what happened, right? Because there's some other thing that that was influencing that I wasn't focused on, right? So it was like just adhering to that practice, having that knowledge, it only helps you in like this specific area, but it doesn't mean that's actually going to improve your life. Like, and that's what they preach in those circles. And I feel like that's what they preach in the religious circles. They say if you just focus on this one thing, everything else falls into place. And that's you
Well,
know
I think that's an exaggeration at best. And I don't think it's that simple at all. And I don't think we're that simple. But I do know that when I couldn't figure out what this one certain person in my life needed me to say, you know, and I went into a meditative state and I just asked that question. Or when I couldn't figure out, you know, I don't know. There's been so many things. It's kind of hard to even like nail it down to little things because my memory gets blurred over time and I kind of let it go when something's been resolved. I suppose that's a good thing. But there were real things in my life that I had misunderstandings about, and I was trying to apply misunderstandings, and of course that didn't work in reality. And because I was doing things that don't work in reality, I had a bunch of failure and I was frustrated. And I didn't want failure. Who does? You know?
I've actually come to
yeah.
learn failure is a good thing because it's just one more step. Either A, you get better at it, or you at least know where you're exactly going to land up. because you know you already failed. So it's a nice baseline of always where to pick yourself back up from, and there's nowhere lower you can go than failure.
Well,
And it's
that's completely true. I mean, you're
like yeah,
completely right, but you're not aiming for the failures. You're aiming for success.
hmm
It's just the failures get you there.
yeah, it's like the stepping stones,
Gotcha.
which a lot of
Sometimes,
people get. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, sometimes it's like it's not so much in my past I can point out the specific reasons for my failures, but it's like in certain situations, it's almost like anytime I've tried to do better, it's kind of like if it's blown up in my face, and I can't say, "Oh, well, I did that thing wrong, and that's why that failed." Instead, there's like some externality, something that's out of my control, but yet I still, feel the brunt of that. It is like, okay, so now my, the whatever investment I've made in this thing that didn't turn out right, like that. Um, it's like why why is my effort not being rewarded, right? Because it, and then that equates to like a nihilism. What's the point in even putting out the effort?
Well,
If I'm
I
going to fit.
recognize, Trusty. I recognize that I'm one voice in a crowd. I recognize that, but I I don't know people that have had the success I've had. So and I'm talking about, like and some Christians might say that I'm wrong for doing this, but a conglomeration of methods from different cultures and times that seems to overall work for me. It may not work for you. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought I'd come in and present that to you.
No, I definitely appreciate it. It's kind of you know I'm trying to I guess critically evaluate anything that I'm taking on. And when P-Town asked me that, and I really thought about it, I had to be honest. Like, no, I don't think I've ever genuinely, with like an open mind, actually tried that. So maybe I
Okay.
should. Like, how's it going to harm me? I mean, worst case, I guess, like you said, I end up, in a place where I receive a confirmation bias, which is, you know, uh, probably, unlikely in this case, that I would get like a desired outcome. But if it happened, again, like I would have to, step back and evaluate that and say, oh, well, is it because I took up this practice, or was there some other factor that actually, uh, you know, made the thing happen?
Sure.
So I don't.
And then I have to say there's something like a placebo effect where people having a positive attitude does improve their life, generally speaking.
Yeah, I'm definitely working with that one. Um, I tried that. I tried that last night, and it went, sideways on me because I went out saying, okay, like you're doing this thing you don't want to be doing again, but everything worked out yesterday, so if you just follow the same pattern, everything's going to work out again today. And in a way it did, but in a way it was very frustrating because in the back of my mind I have this expectation that, okay, like I said, if I keep putting in this effort and it seemed to have positive results last time, well then those there's like an expectation of even like building that positivity. And then once
Right.
once it doesn't work out the second time, then I'm feeling like I just got kicked off a horse or something. Now
Mm-hmm.
like um and so now I'm externalizing blame for that, and maybe rightly so. I mean, this was so I went through the appropriate channels and expressed my displeasure. But
Sure.
it was really just the cause of more frustration. It would have been easier just to let it go, but at that point I couldn't. Like, I'm invested in this. If I'm
Right.
invested in this, I'm doing my best, and I'm not getting some fair compensation in return. I'm going to say something about it. I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I follow, I think.
But I don't know. I don't know if Jesus works that way. That's what I was trying to explain there with P-Town. It's like, I don't know if my expectations are reasonable.
Well, how would you know that? But at least theoretically, for me, and tell me where you disagree, please, and then I'll get off of this channel. But for now, okay, if something's going to be my God, it's got to be better than me, or else it's not a God; it's just a person, you know. And then if something is better than me, well, in what ways should I expect it to be better than me? Well, I'd like it to be, I don't know, smarter. That seems like a rational request. Having more power, having less prejudice, having a broader mind, understanding more things, stuff like that, I guess. So let's say I was in the religion that calls God Fred, but God's actual name was Jesus Christ. Do you think Jesus Christ would mind if I call him Fred? Because if I call him Fred, is that really anything besides my small human mind not able to conceive more than that? And why should that be a problem? It's like if I walked to Einstein and I'd been able to say something like, "Oh, hey, I heard 1 + 1 is 5." And he says, "Well, no, and here's the proofs, blah, 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 blah." But that would be a reasonable thing for him to do. But if he just ignored me for saying something stupid, well, then how much smarter than me is he? Really? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it seems very petty too, because you or I, if I were to, come into your house or on your channel or whatever, and say, hey, Dave, you say, oh, excuse me, my name's Richard, right? Like, God doesn't do that.
Actually, when people do that to me, I don't even correct them. I just let them keep whatever name they have. I don't care.
Yeah, I suppose I've done that at least a few times as well. Yeah, we'll roll with that. It's not important.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm gonna give this
Anyway,
an honest shit. Try your method as well. Thank you for coming by. Are you going to be streaming, Richard? Or
I wasn't planning on it. I'm going to do my coffee. Sorry, my morning routine. I called it my coffee routine.
Yeah,
Sorry.
get your caffeine. All
All right,
right,
brother.
man.
Take care now.
That's all.
Have a good one, Tog.
I saw Todd. It looked like you were in there for a while before I came in too. I only caught the tail end.
Just for like 5 seconds, to be honest.
Oh, really?
That was like arguing with Gummy Worm, whatever the hell his name is, Bubblegum. And Gummy Worm. Where'd I get Gummy Worm from? Sorry. And yeah, I guess he's like a Christian, but no, he's a creationist, but he's not. He doesn't believe Jesus is a part of the Trinity. So he might just, he's a Jew, essentially.
Well, no. He clarified later he doesn't believe in Yahweh necessarily either, but or if he does, he calls it by another name. But essentially, he's saying that the mind of God is chaos, or chaos is the
Jesus
mind of
Christ.
God.
He's
Something
retarded.
like that.
No, I'm sorry. Oh. All right,
And
yeah, he's probably in some Gnostic form of thought. Because he keeps mentioning gnomes, so.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about the gnome.
I'm pretty sure he was joking, but still.
It was actually interesting, like philosophically. That's why I kind of wanted to look into it a little bit more. But because I asked him the question, where is the mind, where is the mind? Does that make sense? There has to be a location. He related to like gravity or something like that. Like you don't ask where is gravity. Like gravity occurs you can determine it occurs between a set of objects, right? So
Yeah.
there is a place where gravity happens. And in space, where there's no mass or no object, gravity doesn't attract, right? Because you need the object in order for gravity to work its forces. If that makes any sense.
No, I try to understand it there. Actually scratching my head. They're like, huh? Did I comprehend any of that? I don't think I did.
Yeah, so there's no gravity in empty space. There's only gravity relational to two existing objects.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's no pull. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Thanks for dumbifying it for me.
Yeah, so I was well, that's a bad analogy, but I'm still trying to get like this concept of mind to say that mind exists in like living beings or entities, right? We don't know
Right.
mind that exists outside of a physical
Well,
form.
theoretically, we can't. Oh, I see what you're saying. Physical form, body. You weren't saying like flesh and blood body, were you?
No, I mean it could be,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
guess, like a
Okay.
physical body,
Crystal
but
or a
it's still
tree or something like that. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and in that sense, like the space itself could be a whole cognition mind, and we're just nothing more than the neurons firing off, or what
which is
could be
a
neurons, or something like that.
yeah. Yeah, I mean it's electricity. It's electricity flowing, right?
Mm-hmm. But then again, it's like it's stuff like that that I don't necessarily have a problem with, like God and evolution, young Earth, and all that. I'm just mostly against young Earth because it just seems so oddly new, and at least to me, it's like to me, it's like it seems like a maybe less than 100 years old or something like that. The argument it may be longer, but I don't know. It just doesn't make sense how it just seems really, really popularized in Western society. Right?
I
We're
think it
supposed to
actually
be.
started
Go ahead.
supposed to be what? No, you can
What'd you
finish your
say?
thought.
No, go ahead. I missed it.
Oh, sorry. I think I was gonna say I think that actually starts like with cosmology, right? Because I mean I don't know, but as far as I could tell, it seems like the greater argument is like the age and uh, vastness of the universe,
I
and
think
then so like
there's.
that's like a macro scale. So like if you were like, oh well, God, created the universe and life and everything in 7 days, like it says in the Old Testament or whatever, then that
Yeah.
doesn't possibly jive with like, you know, what we know about cosmology, unless you have like Big Bang Theory, which I think like the dude who developed Big Bang was a Christian or well, we
Yeah, I
got
think he
another
was a
one.
Catholic.
A still day is a furry. Okay, let's see.
You can do the rump shaker, huh? The thug shaker. Give me the thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off it and shake that shit. Pull your shirt up. I know you can shake it. Shake it. Yeah, that's some thug ass right there.
That was my ears.
Oh yeah.
Oh, was I muted? My bad. Did you see that?
I saw the there is help out there thingy.
Oh yeah. Somebody keeps mooning me tonight. It's a full moon.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the second time you brought like I put him up and he's got somebody dude twerking hairy ass on the screen or something. I don't know. Somebody
That was
out there
loud
likes
ass
me.
audio, man. Yeah.
I finally have a troll. Oh.
I hope it's a stranger, like not someone you know. All right, that'd be the worst.
Yeah. Might be the same person who had my last channel taken down. Although it was much different than the last one.
Was that Ken
Last
Ham?
time,
Jesus Christ,
got
that
me
was
for-
creepy.
Uh,
I just caught a
too much
glimpse of
fun.
him looking at me. I was like, "What the fuck was that?" Oh, it scared me. Yeah, I think there's technically 3 levels. But again, I always forget how. I think there's technically only 2, because there's, or maybe even just the one, and that's like I think I don't know if I'm just saying this, but like with chemicals, the biology of that, which goes into planetary and then biological. The only reason why I say that is because our solar system are based off the other, the chemicals that it's based off and the elements it's based off of. Other solar systems that we can tell are slightly different, right? And I guess it's those variations that could uh change the fine tuning of what life could be or mean. Uh, and that might just change things drastically on like a planetary and biological level of like evolution, which I think
Interesting.
would be, yeah. Go ahead.
I was listening to Short History of Everything by Bill Bryson, and we got into a part where he is talking about like how basically anything that we're not like environmentally conditioned to, any element that we're not environmentally conditioned to, is toxic to us. So like because we don't have plutonium on Earth that's not naturally occurring on Earth, that we're exposed to, that it's it's highly toxic to us. And so like anything that's around us in our environment. So that kind of goes to what you're saying. Like not only like they can be made up of the same stuff, but if they're not exposed to the same elements in their environment, then those elements would be toxic to them. So they could like come here and like get poisoned by, I don't know, hydrogen or something. Like something that's really benign to it.
Sorry, I stepped away. My kid needed help with something for school. They're getting ready. It's like picture day, so they're trying to make everything all picture perfect.
Yeah, no worries. I just had a truck pulling too.
Do you mind repeating about what you found in what the guy said in the stream again, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So basically, what they're saying is that anything that you're not exposed to that's like naturally occurring in the environment around you, it becomes toxic to you. Like it would be toxic to you because you're not exposed to it. Like everything that so every element that we are exposed to on Earth, right, to whatever degree we are exposed to it in our natural environment, we become resilient to it. But if it doesn't occur here, like plutonium doesn't occur on Earth, which is extremely toxic to us. So if there was some life form though that was exposed to plutonium, but they weren't exposed to some other element that occurs here, they could come here and be poisoned by that thing. Like even if they were made up of the same biological stuff, because their biology is adapted in such a way to incorporate that element.
Isn't it kind of like germ theory with the if you don't have an immunity, so to speak, built up into it, it's gonna affect you more. So we have like a resistant immunity to it.
Yeah, that's why certain like diseases that can like live inside other like mammals, like we can catch them and they can be fatal, but the other mammal can live with them their whole life and never show any signs of being sick, because for them it's not a disease. It's only a disease once it gets transmitted to us, because we're not exposed to it. We haven't been exposed to it generationally or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I don't know how much of this you listened to. If you did you hear D-Town's attempt to convert me?
I heard bits and pieces. I thought he was trying to hit the sales pitch a little too hard, if you ask me.
Seems very optimistic.
Yeah, I give him
You know,
that. Too aggressive, a sense. This is what I mean. Like too strong of it. Like you got to do this today, right now, right here. It's got like he's the pressing guy at the door. You're trying to like almost decline. Like, oh yeah, I'll try it out. Thanks for the sample. He's like, well, you're gonna buy right now. I know you just want to sample, but try buying it. And I was like, calm down.
somebody mentioned that earlier. Oh, Christianity, Sandy. He's trying to convert me to Christianity. Somebody mentioned it earlier too, and they weren't going to do that to me, but in the conversation, because same thing, like in the 12-step recovery circle, people will sometimes ask you, are you willing to go to any lengths to have this? And that's kind of like the way I felt like it was being pushed on me. Like, are you willing to go to any lengths for Jesus now? Like
right?
Okay.
Yeah, like damn, dude. That's what I said in the comment section. When now sign here, like right with the end, I'm like, now just sign here. Like it sounds like he's trying to make you sell your life away. Like, just sign here in this little paper. You have this new car. It'll do all the wonders for you. It'll get you where you're going. I've driven this car. It's never given me any problems. I can't blame him for trying. It seems like greasy to me. Maybe there's a tinge of jealousy because maybe the way he does it's a little better. What do I know? I'm only saying that because perhaps it's there. I don't think it's true, but I never know. It might be subconsciously there, like some type of jealousy.
Yeah, he did say he was having doubts. I think that's one way that people will, not only to try to convince you, but in a way they're still convincing themselves of the narrative, and they have to be really overly enthusiastic about it, right? I think that's part of it. It's like, oh, if I get really hyped up about this, then it's gonna, come on, it's gonna impress this person more, you know. But it's a performance. I think. I don't think they know they're doing it for them.
I don't know. Maybe I am not one to judge, but at the end there, he's like, "Let's all pay for Trusty Ape every day," and I don't mean to mock what he's saying. I know it's going to sound like that, and I just realized that it might sound like that, but that's not my intent. But it seems weird to have to pray to God every day to, like change your heart, so to speak, or cause you to repent to God, to accept God every day,
No,
when you should only have to ask him the one time, right? It's an all-powerful God. Like, do you really need to ask him 1,000 times? You should only have to ask him the one. Like, I was listening to Richard, not to go on to Richard too, but like, if you have to do all these steps just to pray, Jesus Christ, I don't think I want to do it. Fuck, I gotta be calm. I gotta be in a safe place. What if I'm in danger? Like, the most time I need God in a dangerous spot, I can't just be like, well, bud, get me out of this situation, huh? Well, I gotta make sure I'm safe first, and I guess I got myself out of that situation. What I need God for? I gotta get to the safe spot first. Sorry.
No, I mean, exactly. It's like, oh, if you're in that situation, like the dire situation, of course you're gonna be praying. You're gonna be, grasping at any straw you can find, right? Like,
yeah.
But no, he specifically said not just to pray to God, because that was where the conversation went. I was like, I've tried praying to God before, but when he was talking about praying specifically to Jesus, I was like, okay, honestly, I've never tried that. Any time before, when somebody did like he did and said, okay, are you willing to dedicate your life to Jesus now? And I was like, yeah, okay. And I okie doke him
shit.
and I let him pray over me, and I say, oh yeah, I feel the Spirit, but in reality, now I'm just bullshitting him, So
I think I'd have to give him that. I don't know if I've honestly, truly prayed to Jesus. I've prayed to God, but I've never prayed to like Jesus. That's true.
So essentially, his argument was like that Jesus is the conduit to God. So if you don't have faith in Christ and belief in the,
Well, maybe it's invoking of his name, because I imagine when I say God, I'm talking, I know it means Jesus, but maybe there is a distinction, but in using the name of God, like why the Jews don't use, say Hashem, right? They don't even say Yahweh, the variation Adonai, right? They give different the name of God. If it holds power, it would make sense to behoove something of God. Request something for him to act on your favor or behalf. To do such a thing, to invoke his name, to actually use his name is probably, so that makes sense with Jesus, I guess. Instead of just saying God, but I think it matters the same way, like Richard said. I imagine, I don't know. Maybe there might be some weirdness with that. I can't imagine calling God Satan and be like, he'd be like, I don't know about that, bud. Right? Oh, Satan, help me.
Well, I think Richard's point was that if you didn't know any better, if you thought God's name was
Oh,
Satan,
I didn't
like
catch that. Yeah.
yeah. Respond to Sandy in the chat. Too bad he wasn't trying to convert you to radical acceptance of responsibility. Yeah, I mean that's it's a good one. I tend to be a ruminator, so I've been told that I hold on to too much responsibility for things that are completely out of my control, and things that I couldn't have known more than I knew at the time. So it's like sometimes I try to kick myself in the ass for those things too. So I'm going to take responsibility for just my own actions, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing conflicting things about like guilt and shame now, because all throughout rehab, they're like, you need to dump guilt and shame and let go of all that baggage. And then in my group on Wednesday, the guy was like, actually, guilt's a good motivator because it teaches you what not to do next time, because you have a feeling that you did something bad. Oops, don't do that again, right? And so that's why you harbor that. But it's like so I don't know.
I think the worst thing someone can do is convince themselves that they weren't guilty. And I don't mean like forced upon guilt, right, from others, like someone's making you feel guilt. What I mean by that is the guilt that they in self feel, not caused by other people, mind you, but just self guilt that they then turn away, and they tell themselves they're not. That's probably the most dangerous, because that's taking away, I think, your accountability to whatever situation that made you feel guilty in the first place, and then you're just brushing it off at that point, and then you're going back to old habits, trying to solve old habits to make a new solution, and it's never going to work. It's like something most people have problems with is they'll go back to an old solution because it's worked, and then when they find out it hasn't continued working, it's not doing the same trick, they don't know what to do, and that's where they'll keep doing it because it's worked. Why isn't it working? And that's the problem, is starting back to square one and picking up and learning it. That's to recognize that's the most important thing, and I don't think a lot of people get there. I heard that one from what's his face? He's a money person. I can't remember his name. David something. Richard knows who I'm talking about. He actually advised him to me at one time. I already knew of him, but yeah, I forget his name. David Ramsey. There we go. It came to me.
It sounds familiar. I'm like, where do I know that from?
Yeah, David Ramsey. Yeah,
talking heads
Dave
on
Ramsey.
the television.
Something like that. He's like a financial guru. If you want to get out of debt, take these steps. And yeah, it's work. The number one thing he says to try to do is save up $1,000. That's like the hardest step that people can do, is actually have $1,000 saved up for an emergency. I mean, if you think about It's a Wonderful Life, when he says, do you know how hard it is for the common man to save $5,000? And that's back then. And think about it now. And there's still people who can't even get that, right? That's like a tax return for some people. That's all the time they're ever going to see it. And that's gone as soon as they get it. Got to catch up on the bills and shit, the fucking car notes and everything else, the school loan. And then even with
Yeah,
that school, that's the worst bit.
like my issue with getting into a place, like I could get my own place. The issue is not paying the rent. The issue is always like in the deposit. Like, yeah, I could, afford to put down a deposit on a place if I don't eat for a month or so. You know what I mean? Like, if I if I don't eat and I walk everywhere all month, then maybe I could afford that. But
Yeah.
it's always the down payment, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can actually the down payment. Something I learned, you can actually have a down payment of $10. Like when going to get a car,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
still
That's a little
get one.
different.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
But then you'd have higher interest on your monthlies, right?
I think so. Something akin to that, or
I've
a
never
higher
bought a
payment
new
rate.
car myself. My ex and I, we began investing in a new car together, and then it ended up. Well, it was her car, right? But so, long story short, it didn't get paid off. It got repoed, so that's good.
I was a day
Yeah,
late
no,
dollar short with one of my cars, and it got repoed. I was so sad. I never thought I could have a car repoed. I never thought it could happen to me, and it happened to me. It's like getting herpes for the first time. I was humbled quickly in the moment. I was like, damn, I never thought this could happen to me, right? I never thought I could have my car repossessed, but lo and behold, it actually happened. And that was like the suckiest one because then I'm like, well, then all this money that I have, I can't use it to pay my shit now because I can't get my car back. And then I had to just get a new car, and that sucked ass. Not really. I really enjoyed that car. It was a Dodge Caravan, like the second one I got. It was a Caravan. I loved it. Now I got a
those
Kia,
things are something. What kind of Kia?
the Sorrento, 2016. The high-profile car, and it's always getting stolen, like whatever they're called, broken into to get robbed, I guess.
I think no, it wasn't that one. It was the Soul. I rented the Soul a while ago. That was a good ride.
Mm. Sounds like a cube shape. That's why I think I like that one's cube shape.
Yeah, it does kind of have that cube look. But I drove past one of those new whatever those Mars rover trucks they made the other day on the bridge. It was hugging that side of the lane. They were so squirrely. I was like, this guy gonna hit me with this brand new electric vehicle. But yeah, there's that thing was so strange, like driving up the side. It's like, what's up, man?
I gotta see what you're talking about. I put cartoon, not car. Oops. Oh,
The what?
Jesus, the car that you're talking about. Is it like what who makes it?
I don't think it's Tesla. Uh, let me find it here real quick. Uh, the I think it classifies as a truck. Not actually sure about that. SUV or something. I don't know which. There's a whole new like type of vehicle, I guess. They had to reclassify it.
I see it's like 6 wheels. I don't know if this is it or not.
Yeah, I found
It
one. I'll
looks
share it.
oh yeah.
Oh, come on, StreamYard. Not cooperating. There we go. Oh, come on, I thought it was just going to show this thing right here.
Oh yeah, okay. That was not the same car. That is ugly as hell.
This is terrible. F-150 lighting.
Oh, that one doesn't look too bad.
Rivian.
That actually looks kind of cool. I like the way that looks right there with the lights.
So it is a Tesla. Okay, the Cybertruck they call it.
That looks like some video game car, like some shitty rendering.
Welcome back,
I would
Matt
not.
Biggin.
I would not want to drive that. I would not feel safe.
I don't think the person who was in it did either. Like I said, they were all up, almost in my lane. I was, man, and it's a pretty bulky vehicle. Like you see, because it's square and it takes up the full lane, at least on a bridge for sure. So
Looks like it has some shitty ass lighting, and then it's electric, so those motherfuckers are gonna go dim as you're driving. Oh my god.
they're probably bright as shit. They want the LEDs now.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, there's the Hummer version. That one looks pretty boss.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. It needs to be solar powered. That's the next innovation.
Right? Yeah, solar charging. The Ram looks a little funky. The front end of that. I'm sure the
Yeah, that's not bad.
Dodge heads love that.
Ooh, is that storage compartments in the side? Did I see? Oh my god. That's pretty vinegar I can't say the word. Invigorating. I
Inventive?
can't. Like no,
Wait.
I can't say the word.
Invigorating.
Thank you. Yeah. I think that's the right word. It may not be the right word. I might be confusing it with another word. Holy shit. Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Alpha Wolf. Oh, kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that's nice. I like the headlamps.
What is that? That's ridiculous. That looks like something out of Mad Max. Atlas
Yeah.
XT. Huh.
It looks like something you'd play in like N64 Vigilante 8.
Yeah, right?
Pew pew pew. Just put some like
Oh,
fucking
I
guns
forgot
on
about
that.
it. Edison Future EF12.
Oh, that one's
Yeah,
not
like,
bad.
you like it?
It's futuristic. It looks like a fish. Looks like it belongs
Yeah.
more in the water, like a submarine. Like it's getting amphibian, whatever the freaking call it, when the car can go into the water and land. Amph something car. I forgot what they're called.
I see that. Joe, good morning. Elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Jesus Christ. Okay. Praise unto you and peace be multiplied.
Amphibious. Thank you, Richard.
What
Yeah, those
is
vehicles are
this?
pretty cool. Canoe pickup. These look like vehicles that belong in Jurassic Park. And like a dinosaur's gonna come smashing through, especially with the foreground of this. Where's the T-Rex, right?
Now that looks like it should be semi-aquatic. It almost resembles like a
Yeah,
submarine.
it does. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. Amphibian cars. They're getting ready for the flood.
No, it's not bad. Lordstown Endurance. that's yeah.
That one's not bad, but maybe it's the background that doesn't do it.
All right, so you made me think of this. I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole a little bit. I've seen some of these videos. Have you seen the repo gone wrong videos?
I have not. I would love to though, because I do love
Uh,
watching tow videos.
yeah, there's some good ones.
There's a fucking clip for people talk like watching tow videos.
Yeah,
Wiggle them toes.
like, I think I've seen that one before. But yeah, when people like try to drive it up on, once it's already on the trailer, they try to get up there and pull it out. Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh man.
Looking at it now, I'm like, now you can see how bad I am at typing. Repossession going wrong. That third finger's doing double time. Must be all the guitar playing. I don't know. This will be an ad.
Ads come from the devil. That's why they're called ads, because they're from the adversary.
No. Yeah, I was like, I used to love YouTube. So I thought we were like done with commercial ads, and it just got worse and worse. I
Right.
mean, obviously, I still love YouTube, but man,
Now I see the person's already in the car with that, so I wonder if the dude towed them with them in the car, because that's highly illegal, isn't that still kidnapping?
yeah, I don't
When
think
you
they'd
do
be
that,
able to do
yeah,
that. They would have to get a cop out there or something. Maybe he didn't realize he's in the car. I don't know. It kind of starts off a little late though. Hard
yeah.
to tell what happened. Fudge cake. Ours? Come on. No, it's spiraling. I think he hopped in there. Here, let's try this on. Oh, he got it off the truck. Not working. There. Let's
It's
try
the
again.
buffer
Audio.
zone.
It's like freezing my whole, lagging my whole computer out.
That's so weird how that happens.
Everything's like down below the icon. You can see my mouse. It wasn't working. Oh, come on. Let me back it up a few seconds. There we go. No? Okay. Maybe it's not going to let me do it now. It was playing just fine earlier. Not this one, but in the last
Yeah, right. What time is it? Oh, shit. All right, I'm gonna get out. I need to get some bedtime because I got windows to do today. I'll talk to you later. I don't want my
Yeah.
wife to yell at me. All right, night night.
Nice talking to you, bro.
Nice talking to you.
Oh, it's because I had it up on 360. I think. Let me turn it down to 40 and see if that works. $4:21 a.m. here where I'm at. I'm not smoking weed, but wherever you are, hope you just got good and blaze. They know it's all good. If you're into that sort of thing. Ah. That is crazy. I've never seen them actually get one off the truck like that. Usually they sit there and spin the tires, but they can't get it anywhere. Yeah, like that. Fighting back against it.
Keep going. Go ahead. Keep going. Woo!
I don't know. I don't watch
Great
the whole
job.
thing.
Keep going. You almost got it. You almost got it. Go, go. You almost got it.
All right. Do, 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 do. Oh, no. Well, plus I should be able to get some sleep in the morning. Can't sleep too long though. Sleep tomorrow night. It's wild. Sleep tomorrow night. Last time this happened, I didn't know what to do with myself. Let's wait. See if there's place. Where's that guy? Doesn't like me anymore. Starting back from the beginning. Now, if it doesn't keep buffering, I don't know. We'll see. I can let it load, play it later. Cool though, you can just go check out the P-Town video. You can always do that. Content. Feel pretty good today. I got my group this evening. 5. So I gotta remember to do that. Fill in my calendar. So yeah. I mean, assuming I can wake up early enough, or maybe I'll do a, later. Well, not late, like tonight, but early evening stream or whatever. After 6 or 7, workout. Yeah, philosophy bid, play some guitar, stuff to work on. That. Yeah, I was actually going through my computer when I installed Among Us. I had a bunch of old tracks, and I found it was really strange because like a lot of the songs that Halsey and William have covered, like recently I caught myself, I was like, I had several that I had outtakes of me doing last year that I never finished. So they're not very good, but yeah, I was like, interesting. Who else? Oh yeah, who else did that recently? Maybe I scrapped that project. Nobody wants to hear my version. No, I have to do better. Do better. Hey, Mr. Mark, good to see you. You were there. You saw this one over at P-Towns. We were talking about a little bit earlier. I'm gonna do a separate video on the interaction I had with Bubblegum. So that's kind of something I was interested in. I'm gonna just keep buffering on me. I'll give it a shot here.
You want to join
it right now?
me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to believe as many true things as possible, and I would like to, live the best life that I can. But I'm still troubled by the fact that I subscribe to evolutionary theory, and so I'm troubled by the fact that it seems we can't reconcile that. Just kind of want to jump in, but.
I mean, do you actually want the truth though? Because people say that, but they don't actually want the truth. They want the worldview to be true, and that's very different from the truth. So, do you want your world to be true, or do you want the truth?
I want to believe as many true things as possible.
Bubble, you're hurting my proselytizing. Trusty, hey, look, I'll just put it point blank. Like, you're not going to become a creationist and then a Christ follower. Like that, I just haven't seen it yet. Like, but that's you can believe in evolution and still be a Christian. It's the Holy Spirit given to you once you become a believer in Christ that changes you. He does the work for you. So like these, in this case, like using evolution, and that's fine. I mean, it's okay with me.
So yeah, there's what I was talking about where he says, as long as I believe in Christ, then he will do the work for me. So, and it starts with this practice and building a personal relationship, I think, through prayer. I mean, that's what I got out of this conversation, essentially. And amongst other things that we discussed, but I mean, we're trying to talk about the foundations of faith and kind of how faith differs from, what I think of as, I guess just like some vague sense of trusting something that you don't necessarily have verification of.
It's okay. Like it pales in comparison to Jesus and him being the savior. Like, so I wouldn't let that get in the way. And I could tell you why. You can actually Hebrew lets you, because it's vague in the way that it's written. It's amazing. It's an amazing language, but there's a way to read in evolution into Genesis 1, depending on your approach to scripture. I have a different approach. That's just the person God made me to be, but I wouldn't let it hold you back. Like I believed in evolution when I was a Christian. When I finally decided to pray to Jesus and give him my life, I was still an evolutionist. But for me, I look at you, Trusty, and I go, like your name's Trusty Ape. Like this, it's become a religion for you. It's deeper. There's meaning behind it. Like you love evolution.
That is true. It is strange how people, name their avatars or have profile avatars of their ideology, like evolution.
Yeah, and that is why I chose and stuff like that.
But it's I do with my theism, my belief in God or my politics. Look at P-Town's avatar. It has nothing to do with its theology or belief in politics. But your avatar and your name are based around that, so it's kind of consumed your life. It's got a hold of you.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's consumed my life. It's been prevalent, but no, I mean the avatar and the name actually both come. It's actually a logo and a music group I started, years ago, and then I just.
So, and I want to say, because when I walk that back, 1 second. When I think about the time that I thought that name up, I didn't necessarily even subscribe to the theory of evolution. Like I wasn't terribly interested in it. I was much more fascinated and probably willing to entertain the idea that we had been brought here from another planet or something like that. Or I was still kind of agnostic, looking into various creation myths and things like that. So yeah, I wasn't even I wouldn't say I was mocking evolution theory at the time when I thought of Trusty Apes, but I was still really on the fence about it and not well educated in it, right? Like I was in the middle of my education. When I made that list, I had to have been about maybe a little. Yeah, it's maybe 12 years old or so. Seems about right. Traffic hour. Sorry, I'm trying to hit play on the video before I went out. These guys are flying in today. Just flying.
And I just kind of carried it over into YouTube when I was thinking, what am I going to name my channel? Evolution. And well, ideally, I was doing a certain type of interviews when I first started. Just kind of gone a different direction, but it was just a matter.
Really do have to replace that earbud. Sorry, y'all. I hope it sounds better now. I'm hoping it sounds better now.
Convenience, like it was already available to me,
Okay. It is a nice avatar, by the way. Did you draw that yourself?
No, I commissioned it from a guy named Brandon Lovecraft. Great artist.
Out of Sacramento, California. Okay, yeah, I switched back. It's weird switching. Depending on what device I'm using, my like my Bluetooth on or whatever. Like, and it's different through StreamYard than through Prism. Like, there's a way all of this lines up tech wise, but I'm doing it all very low tech. So in general, I'm gonna hook up with my Blue microphone when I get back later on, and try to troubleshoot that, because I know I was having some issues with it the last time I tried to stream with it, but usually it comes through loud and clear, and just makes things easier for me and obviously more enjoyable for listeners. So.
Still working.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh no, we lost him.
Dang
Yeah.
it.
P-Town, you offended him. I blame this on you.
Yes, I believe the reason that happened to me twice in that stream, because I had to, there's a very large, not even like a crack, it's a dent in the corner of my screen, which is like right where the end button is for streaming on StreamYard. And it's also where the Leave Studio button is. So I don't know if that's affecting why I keep getting dropped from rooms, because I know it happened in another room recently. But yeah, not intentional.
Wrong button. He was trying to mute. Sometimes I can tell.
Well,
Bubble, you're a weird dude. Like, why can't you just why can't you give your life to Christ?
why can't you
Why you
give
just
your life
deny
to
it?
God? All right, I'm with God.
Have you ever prayed to Jesus?
No. I mean, deep down, do you honestly think God in flesh sounds reasonable? Think about it.
Do you believe?
God
So
in flesh.
you don't believe in the scriptures, though.
No,
You just believe they're written by a man.
Sumad, so you used Restream and got kicked out of your own room the other night? Oh, yeah. Maybe it is. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I've been cursed since the inception of this, so now I just I know how to navigate around it better. But hopefully one of these days, I come up on a little something I can invest in some gear to improve my my streams here. That's on the list of things. So. Okay, let's see. I'm only gonna have about 15, 20 more minutes, and this goes on for quite a while. I was in there for a bit, so leave this for later. Sure. Matter. Chaos theory, branch of mathematics that deals with complex systems whose behavior is highly sensitive to slight changes in conditions, so small that alterations can give rise to strikingly great consequences. So something that I'm talking about. Now I don't understand maths, so I has to trust the experts in matters of mathematics. So that's generally what I listen to, and let's see if there's any good videos on it. Not to watch now. Science Direct. I don't remember if I'm supposed to trust Science Direct. Some of these sites go, well, it's just an overview. Did my mind formulate any questions? I mean, really, I don't know if I have. No, I mean, I think I'm gonna have to try it in practice. There's kind of like two different practices I have to try, and one sounds more like meditation, I think. But I don't know about this really, this idea of opening my mind to the possibility that I may be in communication with something outside of myself, something external. That's the thing that's difficult for me to overcome. Science Direct, yeah, no, not Appliance Direct. I don't know if I'm um, misinterpreting what you told me earlier, but I mean, because that's the fear. Like if you're talking to yourself substantively, but believe that you are talking to something external, the mind external. Because if I'm meditating, I really feel like it's just my brain communicating with my brain. I don't feel like there's something coming outside from outside that seems to me experientially is me, but has information I do not have. Okay. Yeah, it's like accessing information that you've already acquired and forgotten. May have to, touch on that topic again later. But I do think I guess, am intrigued by the experiment as how's he called it? I think I like that. I would call it the faith experiment, and that's what I'll lovingly refer to this challenge as, to see if I can pray on Jesus and acquire faith. Right? Is it no? It's believe on Jesus, pray to Jesus. It's not believe because of people. Anyway, I don't know the verbiage there. Okay. Chaos theory is concerned with unpredictable courses of events, the irregular and unpredictable time evolution of many nonlinear and complex linear systems has been named chaos. Chaos is best illustrated by Lorentz's famous butterfly effect, the notion that a butterfly stirring the air in Hong Kong today can transform storm systems in New York next month. The definition of deterministic chaos implies that our prediction in the form of a model, for instance, is very sensitive to the initial conditions. The difference between predictions with slightly different initial conditions grows exponentially. Water. Systems Theory by Strauss-Vogel and von Schilling. Chaos theory describes the qualities. That's the title here, yeah. Chaos and systems theory. Chaos theory describes the qualities of the point at which stability moves to instability or order moves to disorder. For example, unlike the behavior of a pendulum, which adheres to a predictable pattern, a chaotic system does not settle into a predictable pattern due to its nonlinear processes. Examples of chaotic systems include the behavior of a waft of smoke or ocean turbulence. Chaotic systems are characteristically sensitive to initial conditions. Therefore, a slight change in the initial condition could have a vast impact on the outcome, as exemplified by the butterfly effect, and in the work of meteorologist Edward Lorenz. So that's in part what I'll be reading about on the next stream. Preview there. All right, it's 4:48 in the AM. Being reminded of forgotten information through meditation that applies to the moment is not so bad. I would agree. Yeah, I need to take up a regular practice, something like that. When I was doing meditation regularly, it definitely was beneficial. Got proof of that in my writings in my notebook right here. Definitely helps to order the mind, if nothing else. And P-Town is only saying, insert the name Jesus Christ into the inquiry when in that meditative state, essentially. I thought, so what I took from what he was saying was that if I wanted faith in God, I would acquire it through belief in Jesus. So I would have to ask, essentially, if I'm praying to Jesus to solidify my faith. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. Wait. Yeah. Now I'm actually confusing myself. I may have to go back and listen to it, but that's what I was getting. He was like, okay, because if I make a practice of it, I will begin to, you know, it's softened to use the word. Yeah, it might be just too late. I might just have to listen again and make sure that I properly recall what he was saying, but I knew he was saying to make a conscious effort to pray to Jesus, to make like direct contact. Like that's the idea. So it's not, if I'm praying to God, that's like a vague notion in my mind. I'm not praying to Christ, who died for my sin, right? Which is really the conduit to connection to God. I think I'm describing that kind of okay. Faith happens in us through a long-term tested relationship. Like I have some amount of faith in you, right? And I think I call that trust, but again, there's the fact that I guess with faith, it's something that like I have a history with you that I know I can reliably count on you to um, you know uh, treat me with respect and certain things that I come to expect from a person, but it's because I've experienced that repeatedly. Um, Not like the expectation that if I have this faith in Christ and I build this foundation of faith, that my life in general would be improved by it. And I guess achieve salvation or something. But that's further on down the road. Like the first thing is just believing that if I hold to this practice, that God will do works in my life. Is that what they call it? Do works, like not miracles, but somehow this will be reciprocated to me. I am describing how to test a long distance relationship, real long distance. But if God's everywhere, He's with me all the time, right? I don't know. That one's too much for me. Have the repeated and testable and true experience, and eliminate as much bias as possible. I know I should. Well, it is written down, so maybe somehow I will record this faith experiment and put it through some process of peer review through y'all, and see what happens there. Try to test it scientifically. Be interesting. All right. Well, I've been yakking at y'all for a couple hours, and thanks to Richard and Tog for joining me, and P-Town for hosting earlier, and everybody for coming in the side chat. It's been real. It's been fun, and I suppose I'll go think on this stuff. Gives me a lot to think about, which I like. Because I'm not thinking about the same things I was thinking about yesterday, whatever that situation I was describing to Richard that made me really upset last night, or whatever. So it says God is everywhere is like staying closer than your jugular vein. God is in my head anytime I use God. Leave that one on screen for posterity. Say, all right, be kind and be well and stay trusty, my friends. And I will probably see you sooner than later. Sooner than something like that. See you sooner. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying, well, thank you to my troll for attempting to ass bomb my stream. And I put this one up just for you, and I'll leave it here in case you ever need help. Just give us a call. Mental health is so important. Much love, y'all.